today we hear this all the time. We hear middle class, and we're going to talk about by state what it actually takes to fall into that category. And you may be surprised because honestly, the range was different than I guessed it would have been.
And it's like most things financial. It depends on where you live.
That's right.
Actually, we pulled this data from Visual Capitalist and Smart Asset. But look at this. You can compare and contrast. There is a broad difference here. If I look at who's the lowest, Mississippi, 49,000. If you look at the highest, now there's a few that were in the $90,000 range, but the highest, according to the stats, was Maryland, right at $90,000.
And if you look at the average across all 50 states, it comes in right at $69,000 to be labeled middle class. So ranging from as low as Mississippi to as high as Maryland with an average right around 69,000. But the question becomes, okay, is this helpful? Is it valuable? If I know that I fall into the middle class, does that actually impact and affect my financial journey? Or is it something that's even worth knowing at all?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where I'm trying to figure out what's the actual teachable things from just knowing the data on where middle class falls. And so we did try to create a few takeaways for the audience so y'all can start, seeing if there's a teachable moment here or a takeaway for you. And the first thing is don't get caught up in the labels.
That's right.
Is that I will tell you that there are times in our life that our incomes were in this lower side, but that didn't define us at the time. It was more of the behaviors, the discipline. We'll get into even that more so. But don't let the labels define everything you are or you're not.
Yeah, income is crucial to being able to build wealth, but it's not all that matters. It's not the only thing that matters. And one of the things that we want to encourage you, no matter where you fall on the income spectrum, is figure out, are there ways that you could be harvesting the white space? Now, no matter where you are, what stages, are there opportunities where you could potentially increase your income? Maybe you live in one of these states and you're not middle class, or maybe you live in one of these states and your income has you in that middle class range, but there are opportunities for you to expand that, because the bigger your shovel gets, the more you can increase that, the more opportunities you give yourself to save and begin to build wealth. So are there side hustle opportunities? Are there other income things? Are there things that you could do even inside of your vocation to advance your career? Again, it's not about moving from middle class to upper class. It's about recognizing that there are three key ingredients when it comes to wealth creation. And one of those ingredients is margin. And if you have the ability to influence your income, you can then increase the margin you're able to use to build towards financial independence.
And I love that, because that leans into the whole discipline component when we're talking about those three ingredients to wealth building. And that leads to the next point, is that the FOO is your all-terrain vehicle.
That's right.
If you think about what FOO does for you, it fills in the basics of, hey, go get the free money from your employer. If they're offering you dollar for dollar match, don't leave that on the table. Stay away from the credit card debt so you're not paying 20% to this bank, while you dig a bigger and bigger hole for yourself with fake consumption dreams. And then emergency reserves is, of course, going to create that buffer. It's such an important thing that it's steps 1 and 4 of the financial order of operations, so you don't have to make desperate decisions when life happens.
Yeah, if you would like your free copy of the financial order of operations, Brian, will you hold yours up for me real quick? Yours, the one that you download, might not be laminated, but it could be. But if you want your free copy, you can go to moneyguy.com/resources to download that. And what we hope that you take away, and this is maybe the big summary point, is that when it comes to building wealth, your behavior is likely much more important, much greater than your income. Brian, we have seen people, and we have clients here to Bound Wealth, who never actually made it past 6 figures of income as a household, and yet they are fully financially independent. And we have folks on the other end of the spectrum that have huge incomes that would certainly be labeled as upper class by income, and yet they are not at financial independence yet. The behavior matters, and it doesn't matter what your label is. It matters, are you using your resources to create the great, big, beautiful future that you want?
Yeah, the two that kind of I feel like marry nicely together is that the behavior and then the harvest, the white space. If people can lean into the discipline on living less than you make, and if you feel like, hey, that's impossible because just life is too expensive for me to even have that margin, then go out there and figure out how we can increase that component, that shovel of the income.
That's right.
These are the things you don't have to be stuck. What I love is after we record this live stream, we're actually doing our millionaire survey where we actually look at all of our clients and we share the content that came from doing the survey of our clients. And what's so amazing to me is how many of them, just like all the stats when I read Millionaire Next Door, I put the stats in Millionaire Mission, and now even the surveys from all of our wealth management clients, how many of these people are first generation?
That's right.
Meaning they are the first ones in their family that crossed into that seven-figure sphere. You also have the opportunity, if you just maximize that huge component of your behavior and taking control of what you're doing with your financial life.